is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Well, not much was going on today, so I thought I'd just do a show tonight. Yeah, okay. Man, I mean, this is supposed to be an off week. He's out there flying around in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, looking at brand new big jets, talking to the Saudis. Nothing much is going to go on. It's all pomp and circumstance. Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy what's going on. Sorry if I missed you this morning. Let me go ahead and apologize. I couldn't do this stuff this morning because Rob and I had to run up to the DMV and then go from the DMV to the courthouse and then pay a parking ticket and then back to the courthouse. And so it became quite the ordeal because yours truly didn't pay a parking ticket, and so I couldn't renew my registration until I paid the parking ticket, and then I had to take the receipt back to the DMV, and oy vey, it was crazy. But I got to spend a lot of quality time with Robin. It was an hour drive, an hour ride back, and we went to lunch, relaxed, and I was seeing everything happening on Twitter, and I'm like, this is crazy, absolutely crazy. And many of you know that President Trump went live earlier today, and he gave a speech, and as of right now, 53% of the people polled in the chat right now have not seen that speech. I'm not sure how many people on Rumble have seen it. So we're going to get into that speech as well. It's a long speech, but it's a fantastic speech. And as he says some things, I'm going to cut in and want to make sure you understand the impact of certain things that he says in the speech. So I'm not just going to do an hour-long speech, go have dinner and come back. No, I'm going to be involved in this with you. But before that, we got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm pretty sure you may not have seen. Maybe some of it you have seen. And then when we do the Rumble jump over, everybody who's been here before knows what happens at about 8:30 or so. At about 8:30 or so, I'm going to shut down the YouTube feed, and then we're all going to jump over at Rumble. And then so what's going to happen over at Rumble? Rumble, we're going to start it with some Trump-esque music. That's the best I can say right now without telling you what's going to happen. But we're going to start it off with some Trump-esque music. And then, right about 9 o'clock, President Trump is going to be live with Sean Hannity, and we'll take that. And we'll take the interview, and hopefully Sean won't leave us hanging with a part 2 or anything like that. And then after it, we'll have some more entertainment. Deal? Deal. All right, so let's start this off with a video with some people basically just thanking President Trump for everything that he has done for their business.
For nearly 60 years, Preferred has been building ranch equipment for America's ranchers right here in Mount Pleasant, Texas. We really don't know a whole lot of difference. I mean, just born and raised in it. I am actually third generation in the business.
2024 was a very difficult year for us. No one was minding the border, as we all know. As we approached customers, they were getting better prices from across the border.
We've been, somewhat reluctant on growth because you just don't know where everything's going to be going. Is there a future? Is there any hope for a future? I've got 5 kids myself. I have 4 boys and a girl. What kind of future is there?
The day after the election, the phones picked up, business picked up. Everybody's mood in the whole country picked up.
The moment that the tariffs went into effect, we knew finally someone cared about leveling the playing field. Other countries do not have the rules and regulations and the laws that they have to follow. So they're able to bring goods in here at an unfair level. The moment those tariffs came into place, we had instantly a level playing field, and now we can compete.
Getting fair trade. Well, it's not been fair. Empty trucks going out, loaded trucks coming in.
When the economy's down, of course, we're very concerned. It's not just about steel. It's about 1,000 families that we're feeding right here in Mount Pleasant, Texas. If we don't thrive, they don't survive either. So it affects all of us. Never mind our customers that we're shipping product to. They have to have good prices. They have to have product. They have to have a reliable supply chain. Without American manufacturing, all companies in America are at risk because we're held hostage by the prices of the overseas folks bringing cheap goods into this area.
But with Trump in there, you actually have hope for the future. So now it's kind of like, okay, let's go, let's grow, let's keep going and keep building what we are.
Manufacturing brings pride back to America. That's who we are. We are excellent at manufacturing, And if you will let this manufacturing beast be unleashed without the constraints of all the outside unfair influences, you will see America thrive like it's never thrived before.
God put us exactly where we're at to do exactly what we're doing.
There's nothing more American than mama, apple pie, baseball, and ranch equipment.
Thank you, President Trump, for everything that you're doing, and thanking you for unleashing us to be able to make manufacturing great again.
Love to see that. Love to see that American businesses are beginning to thrive again. Again, tap yourself on the shoulder, pop yourself in the face. It's been 115 or 18 days already. That's it. That's it. And that's where we sit right now. So just imagine to yourself where we're headed with all this. Let me give you a quick indicator. A little, a refresher from last night, because I think this refresher from last night should show you something, and then we're going to build on that refresher course, with that refresher course. So, yesterday, as you know, I showed you this. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this. Hold 1 second. I have so many windows here. I just want to make sure I use the right one so you guys can see this. And where'd it go? All right, so yesterday I showed you that the tariffs had topped $16 billion in April, and a record that helped cut the budget deficit. $16 billion. Yes, that's what the tariffs have brought in, not including the trillions or so that they've been bringing in with different businesses. And so, of course, Wall Street exploded. And then today, President Trump, when he did his speech, he spoke after announcing, no misprint, $600 billion being brought in from the Saudis. They are going to put in $600 billion, over $500 billion bucks. They're going to put into the U.S. economy. That is unreal, what this man is corralling, how he's making all of this stuff happen so quick. And over here, you've got the Republicans in Congress that are just full of crap, which I'll show you. Tom Tillis saying, I'm not going to vote for the prescription drug bill because blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because you're owned by Big Pharma. I've said it many times. You guys have heard me. Republicans don't know how to win. In fact, so much so, I am no longer ever going to refer to myself as a Republican. I am Maga. I don't want to be associated with these losers, because right now, that's what these guys are. And gals, because I'm going to call them all out at this point. If you guys can't get your SH together, you're ruining things for Americans. We're waiting for you people to act. And you're just not getting anything done. You're fighting against Trump, and you want to do this, and even John Thune's like, I don't know about this. Do it. None of us give a crap about you. We all voted for Donald Trump. There is no Republican Party, as far as I'm concerned, without Donald Trump. You can see there's no Democrat Party. So you could just imagine a couple years ahead, if you don't get this stuff done, you're not even going to have a Republican Party. Nobody's going to show up. The danger with what they're doing is basically acquiescing to the Democrat Party or whoever forever, which maybe that's what they want. Maybe they don't want to see you have success. Maybe they don't want to see you have wealth and prosperity and safety. President Trump is doing everything he possibly can to deliver on his promises. But these people don't seem to want to get it done. We call, we write, we tweet, and they just sit around. You know, I want to tell Ted Cruz and Rand Paul and all the rest of them, I don't give a shit about your opinion. I don't care what you think. We voted for President Trump. We put our trust in President Trump. President Trump and his cabinet are kicking butt and taking names. We don't need you to do anything but say yes. That's it. Back off. Go have your dreams and aspirations after President Trump is done fixing things. Then you could ride on his coattails. But right now, you're seriously screwing things up. I want to show you something. At least some people are realizing it and saying, hey, something has to happen here. This one here, 17 House Republicans led by Representative Ogles, who I don't even know who that is. That's Andy Ogles from Tennessee, have written to Speaker Johnson, get to work codifying Trump's executive orders into law. Before I talk to you about that, imagine being in the Capitol. It's a big building, but it ain't that big. And in order to get something done, you have to draft a letter, run around and get other people to sign it, and then send it over to him, and hopefully he'll read it. Is that where we are? I mean, I know some of you have wives and kids, and you text them, and they're probably sitting around a corner. But come on, if you really needed to talk to your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend or your kid, it was important. I'm either walking or they're walking. Get over here. We need to talk. We need something. We got to take care of some business right now. And these idiots are up there sending letters and publishing it on Twitter. But the worst thing is, 17. As we sit here, there are nearly, 220 Republicans in the House. 17 have said, can we get to work? Where's the other 200? Trump's victories are at risk. If Congress doesn't move because a future Democrat president could erase them with the stroke of a pen, they wrote to a letter obtained by Breitbart. Signing the letter, Keith Self, Mark Harris, Scott Perry, Clay Higgins, Barry Moore, Mary Miller, Eli Crane, Brandon Gill, Ralph Norman, Representative Stutzman, who's that? Marlon Stutzman, Eric Burleson. Who's this? This is Randy Weber. This one is Congressman Mitchell Cloud maybe. Ben Klein, Tim Burchett, and Representative Gozar. 17 out of 200 people signed this letter and said, can we get to work? It's bad enough you're having to write a letter to ask your boss, can we work? Can you imagine that? Running a business and, you're all sitting around and like, you think we should do something? I don't know. Let's write the boss a letter and see if he wants us to get anything done. I don't want to know about that company. I don't want to be involved in that company. Yet that's your government. Your government right now is sitting back going, what time's lunch? We're going to go to a baseball game or something? What are we doing? Because we're not working. We got to ask our boss if we're going to get to work. That's scary. At least it is to me, with everything that President Trump is doing and trying to do. So he's doing so much, and he's doing so well, even CNN had to acknowledge what happened today.
Prices, which we've been watching closely, down 12.7% in the month of April alone. Also worth watching, airline fares down 2.8%. Airlines have been warning people that
this morning the opening bell just rang moments ago on Wall Street, and investors are responding to brand new inflation numbers. You see a little bit of a mixed bag there. NASDAQ up, S&P up, the Dow down just by a bit. But there is new data that just landed from the Labor Department showing inflation year over year actually slowed to the lowest annual inflation rate since February of 2021. CNN, Zain...
Okay, so, slap yourselves. CNN just reported good news about the Trump administration. Lowest in years. Since 2021. 4 years. They had to skip over the entirety of the Biden presidency to get to the numbers that he got in under 120 days or whatever. Let that sink in. Let that sink in that CNN is like, whoa, I guess this is pretty good, huh? Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. Despite, and understand when you're looking at Trump's successes, he is winning despite the headwinds of every liberal, almost every media outlet standing in his way and him having to fight through it and chop through all this stuff. With Congress doing absolutely nothing, begging their boss to get to work. All of this is going on, and this man is winning. Could you even imagine what it would be like if we had a cooperative Senate and House? And I'm not even talking about the Democrats. The Democrats have revealed their strategy. Well, they're calling it a strategy for lack thereof. Because the Maryland man, that ain't good. Trying to kick in the doors of an ICE facility, nah, that ain't good. Trying to say that 60 people coming in from South Africa who've got black nuts trying to chop off their heads, but you're saying, oh, they're okay, we don't want them here. The hills that they're trying to die on are made of quicksand. No American who has any kind of brain is looking at these people going, yeah, they're doing the right thing. They're crazy, absolutely lost it. Their entire strategy is if Trump says anything, they say no. There's nothing as a whole that they will agree to. It's just not going to happen. So it has to be the Republicans. And they don't even want to get to work. It's crazy.
They're wearing the color of money this morning for us.
Money.
What can you tell us about that?
Doing that, by the way.
You do. You're the money lady. You got to.
On that note, you said everybody wants to make a deal with you. You said 25 countries are lined up to make a deal. We heard about China this week, the 90-day period here. Saw with the UK. So, Kevin, you're sitting here right now on the Will Cain Show. Tell us who's next.
Yeah. Well, I can't do that, although there's a great deal with Saudi Arabia that was announced today where they're going to spend $600 billion. But when the president gets back to the U.S., he'll announce the next deal. That's what it's going to happen to.
Okay, can you at least give me a timeline? You're suggesting once he comes back to the U.S., you think he'll have new deals to announce?
I would expect there'll be another deal, yes. I believe that there are deals really close to being finalized, and when he gets back, I'm sure he'll have something to say about it.
All right, so let that sink in. President Trump is pushing forward. He's doing whatever he has to do. And even, unfortunately, there are some people who frequent our videos and get in the chat, and they can't accept success either. If you haven't noticed, but basically President Trump has taken a turn. And the turn he has taken is he seems to be focusing very much, almost exclusively at this moment, on financial wealth building. Now, if you haven't been following along, $600 billion is a lot of money. Couple trillion, that's a lot of money. On and on and on. All the tariffs are working, bringing in billions of dollars, more deals to be had. I haven't seen Kevin's on television so much in the last couple of weeks than I've seen him in the entire time of the administration. We're seeing Scott Bassett, Howard Lutnick, and Kevin Hassan, whatever his name is, become household items at this point because they're always on TV. Even Jameson. Because the focus right now is on making America wealthy and prosperous. And I just want to let you know, if you're not in that mindset, if you're not in the mindset of, hey, listen, I'm going to try and go for the brass ring myself. I appreciate what President Trump is doing, and I would like to encourage people around me to be involved and participate and potentially earn some wealth and learn how to earn some wealth and learn how to have ongoing prosperity. If you're not interested in that, please, by all means, stop trying to tell other people they're wrong for feeling that way. See, that's just the opposite of teamwork. Because I consider the Fanfare family, I consider Maga as a whole to be a team. And a team needs everybody in the huddle and everybody on the sidelines having the same objective. Let's go for it. Let's effing go. Let's win. And there's people in the chat and in the huddle who are like, I don't even know why we're looking at money so much. You know, money is is evil. Or, money isn't the only thing. I got that in the chat. I mean, a tweet today. Let me tell you, I think most of us are secure in our faith, and we know that money isn't the only thing. In fact, it's not even the most priority for most of us in here. But you can't do much without it. And so if I can share my knowledge, and if I can try to impart some things, and if I can show you what's going on, and if I can bring other people in who are going to help you prosper and become hopefully wealthy, however you determine that, then I'm going to do that. And then you may ask yourself, why? Why, Barry? Why would you want to talk about financial stuff so much? Because the boss is. Pure and simple. That's my entire motivation. I'm following his lead. I am following what Trump is doing. So he's over there pressing palms and kissing babies in the Middle East, and he's stopping wars and cutting what? What's he cutting? He's cutting deals. Get used to that word. We're 100+ days in, and you hear it more than you've heard it probably in the last 20 years. Got to do a deal. Got to do a deal. May not work, may not be the way you want, but if you take more swings at bat and hit more let that wood connect more often than you hit air, you're going to be in a good place. But if you don't even pick up the bat, if you're just sitting in the stands doing this all the time, oh, that looks pretty cool. Oh, those people are making some money. Oh, look at them. Look what they're doing. They're buying this stock and they're doing... You're going to be in the same place. Might as well get season tickets. I don't want you to get season tickets. I want you to be on the field. I want to motivate people. And I watch so many other podcasts. And I see people get on podcasts and they're like, oh, here's what happened today. And this is great. And I'm like, okay, what's that do for people? I understand you want to get your news and information from, sources that you can trust, per se. And there's a lot of people who do that. But at the same time, there are only a few people who are willing to take you to the next step and make you a participator instead of just a spectator. See, I want you to be participant. I don't want you to be in the bleachers watching. I don't think many people understand that we haven't seen this kind of opportunity in decades. You're not seeing this thing on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, over and over and over. Things that are going to help you. Like what Kevin's saying here.
Okay.
So there's on the issue of the jet, there's a lot of crazy foreign gifts, over the past decades. Different administrations always grapple with how to handle them. I remember that shortly after I started at the White House back in 2006, President Bush had just received a puppy. It lived in the White House Situation Room for a couple of days while officials figured out what to do with it. Do you think it would have made a difference here if the president hadn't said anything about it? Meaning if it just came in, the jet got flown to the Pentagon, and then we heard about it when we heard about it.
So even Fox News is worried about the jet, which I personally think is nothing but a distraction so that these people can focus over here while he's getting stuff done. Oh, the jet. I don't care. Let them talk about it. If they're doing that and worried and screaming about the jet, then people listening about the jet are about as stupid as the people reporting on the jet. And I love, some of you have had problems with Brett Baer as much as I have. I don't know where he stands. But how he answers this woman about the jet is just perfect because it nails Trump dead on.
I don't know. I just think the size of this gift, the $400 million, and it's probably more than that, this luxury jet that the president wants to make Air Force One would have gotten a lot more attention than the puppy. But I think that any gift comes under scrutiny with the president, with any leader, and it is going to continue to happen. I just don't think that this president, just listening to his answers today, Jillian, cares that much. And he's going to fight the fight and say, I'm doing what I think is best. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll see how big the critics, pushback is. But there will be pushback, 100%.
Meanwhile,
So, I love what Brett said there. He goes, yeah, they're all whining about it, but guess what? I don't think he cares. When's the last time you heard a news reporter get on television and go, hey, the president, he doesn't give a crap. He doesn't care like this much. Not one F to give. If you want to complain about the jet, go ahead. I don't care. I got to get that video. I don't care. I don't care. That's an old movie that plays on TCM that Robin loves with Judy Garland in it. But think about that. A national news network just said the dude doesn't care. He's doing what he's got to do. He's doing him. And he's doing it on behalf of you and me. Meanwhile, now listen, I only got a couple of the nut job clips here. The nut jobs are like, oh, well, he's not really doing anything.
Do you see any reason for Kushner to be part of today's talks? I think the president would argue that he has a role to play here, given his history in the previous mediation and securing of the Abraham Accords, as Kelly noted there too, and his ongoing relationships in the region. The president in this White House would probably see as an asset. We know this is a president who surrounds himself with people who he knows to be loyal to him, who he trusts for their guidance and their insight.
Okay, so this president puts people around him he trusts. He puts people around him in his inner circle that he trusts and feel loyal. Wouldn't anybody do that? Wouldn't anybody surround themselves with people they trust and are loyal to them? I never worked in any company or met anybody who said, you know what, I know this dude over here has it out for me. Let me bring him into my inner circle. And the media's talking like it's, whoa, this is weird. He's got someone he trusts. Why is Jared Kushner there? Oh, no, Jared Kushner is walking around the Saudi castle. Why in the hell is he there? Well, that lady's like, well, I think he trusts him. I think he's loyal. You know, he's that kind of guy. We all are that kind of guy or lady, I think. I don't want anyone sitting in my midst in the middle of my business who I don't trust or feel loyal. They've tried to make that to be a negative on Trump from day one. Oh, he wants loyalists. Yeah? Especially after you tried to shoot him in the head. Or actually, you did. I would definitely want people who are loyal. I could trust. What? Is that not the stupidest thing you've ever heard? And they keep saying it. Oh, he likes loyalists.
And we know that Jared Kushner has long been a part of that inner circle, even if he is not in any official capacity.
You know, this is that a problem? Is that a problem? Oh, that's right. That's his son-in-law on top of everything else. So he's an advisor, he's trusted, he's loyal, he's his son-in-law, and somehow that made news on MSNBC. Who's he supposed to take? Michael Moore? Called Rosie. Hey, Rosie O'Donnell, yeah. They don't want me to have people who are loyal and trustworthy. Want to come over to, Saudi Arabia with me and make sure I keep in step? These people are morons. And you know why they're morons? Because they've never run a business. And they obviously haven't had to be around people who are looking to, jointly succeed. They're all out for each other's heads. Now listen to this round table. This round table would just leave you with your mouth agape.
Talk about the merging of the business interests and the official interests and the like in the business community really coming out. I mean, just look at your screen about the number of business leaders from major corporations, all in Saudi Arabia, everyone from...
All right. So this right here, this image is freaking the Democrats out. You probably haven't paid too much attention to this graph of people up here. If you did pay attention to this graph of people, one of the things that would jump out at you is that there are many, or quite a few, Democrats. And worse than that, there's quite a few people who supposedly hated Trump's guts. All right, so some of the easier names you can look at is, let me see, you got Elon on the top left, and 2 over from him is Larry Fink. Larry Fink, big investor, Blackstone, BlackRock, used to be involved with Google. Larry Fink, not a big Trump supporter. And you can go on a little bit more. And the one that I want you to pay particularly close attention to, you know, Sam Altman hasn't been a big fan. Sam Altman's the second row, second from the left. But my thing here is kind of covering up the guy in the lower right. The guy in the lower right traveled to Saudi Arabia to meet with President Trump and, the big wigs from Saudi Arabia, MBS, a lot of these big money people. And the guy in the lower right happens to be a huge billionaire himself. That would be none other than Reid Hoffman. And some of you guys, well, who's Reid Hoffman? Well, Reid Hoffman is amongst his many holdings. He created or owns LinkedIn. Billions of dollars. He's also rumored to have been good friends and a participant on that island of ill repute with the guy who offed himself in jail. I hope I put enough qualifiers in there so you know that. He's also the same guy who funded all kinds of lawfare and efforts against President Trump. So when you look at this, and you're like, what in the hell is Reid Hoffman doing there? Ring kissing, baby. Ring kissing. And the other thing with that, it's about money. See, the one thing people with money want is how they can make more money. That's how they stay in the money. And sometimes it requires you to hold your nose and go like this and say, and go with the guy who can help make you more money. So when you see those sharks swimming around Saudi Arabia, then you know why you have to have buffers around the president. It's why Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio and Jared Kushner, why all these people were there, because there's so many people who want to get in front of President Trump. And they've got to be vetted, and they got to see where their heads are. What do you have in mind? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Are you a plant? Are you trying to get me in trouble? Are you here because the deep state says go over there and see if you can get him to agree to this or that? Trump's not stupid. He knows he's swimming in the deep water. And these sharks with big money are all over the place, including Reid Hoffman, just swimming around. These are people who are the sharks of the sharks. They're the great whites of money. These are the people that you watch out for. You know, you people say, love of money. These are the people who would not think twice about chewing you up and spitting you out. But more and more and more, you're seeing big money congregate around Donald Trump. Man, you have seen as well, you've seen, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Roger Goodell. All the big players are now coming into the fold here. So you have to ask yourself, if you've got any sort of prudent thinking ability, why would all these people, with all the money in the world, with all the connections, with all the platforms, want to be associated with Donald Trump? And the reason why they want to be associated with Donald Trump is because of what I said right there. President Trump is showing the world that he is fostering a new world order. I truly believe what I heard today, and as I heard the speeches by both he and Elon, that that's exactly what is happening. We have been conditioned to think that the term New World Order is bad. And it was based upon what some of these people wanted to do. eat the bugs, live in the pods, and you won't own anything and be happy. Yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near that kind of New World Order. I don't want to be anywhere near a Klaus Schwab type of New World Order. But what we're seeing right now is a MAGA New World Order taking shape. And so breadcrumbs. When you're looking at this from afar, on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer right now, on your television, and you're seeing these sharks coming into play with the two big sharks. The people from Saudi, Trump, Elon, those are the master sharks right now. Those are the sharks that are controlling the other sharks. Don't mess up, because I'll turn around and tear the butt end out of you. So they know at this point they've got to come in, whether they like it or not, and they've got to come in and take the bow. You don't want to piss this guy off to the point where he turns and then says, let's do it, let's get them. My point being this: if all these people, plus Bezos and Zuckerberg, all the rest of them, if those people are looking at this now and saying, well, you know what, I think I have to put down my sword of Democrat lunacy, because my sword of financial proficiency and wealth building comes before this Democrat crap. It worked. Hey, you wanted some BLM money here. Here's some BLM money. Oh, you want some? And here's some more of this for the... Okay, it's not working. It ain't working. Sorry. Got to go with this guy. So if you sitting back, as I said, on your device, and you're seeing all of this, should this not be a blinking neon light to you? See, these masters of the universe are only masters of the universe when they can control everything. Right now, they are no longer masters of the universe. They're part of the universe of finance. But the masters where they controlled so much, they realize now we don't control it. There's a new president. There's a new sheriff in town. So my question to you is, if they see it and they understand our focus is now, if we want to prosper further, whatever their need to prosper more is, and they want to do better deals and they want to make bigger businesses, if they see it that Trump's got something here, and they see that MBS puts in $600 billion, and they hear about the other deals that Kevin was referring to, can you not see yourself at this point that the world has been turned on an axis, and what is now the focus across the world is finance? Let the Democrats scream about the jet. I don't care. He didn't care. Let the Democrats scream about the South Africans. Let them scream about the Maryland man. I don't care. Trump doesn't care. What he cares about is helping you get to a different position financially. But, and here's the big but, and it involves your big but. If these people are willing to get off their duff and fly halfway around the world to get an audience with other people like them, are you not prepared to get off your duff and make something happen? Because the only difference between them and you is a few zeros in their bank account. And they started somewhere. And I think what I'm seeing here, and I could be wrong, but what I think we're seeing here is President Trump saying, this is all yours. This is Mr. and Miss America. I'm doing this for you. I hope you want to do whatever you can to partake. I'm trying to lower your taxes. I'm trying to lower your gas prices. I'm trying to lower your interest rates. The Fed's got to react. That happens. I'm telling you right now, if the Fed lowers their rates, I don't think you can get to the stock market and buy stuff fast enough. I don't think you can get into the real estate market fast enough. Someone needs to tell you If I'm not the messenger, you don't want to hear this message, then maybe I'm not for you, but I can't ignore this. I mean, I'm sitting back and watching, and I'm looking at other podcasts, and I'm like, are they not showing people what's happening here? How they rolled out the red carpet, and how they did all this stuff? It's incredible, but listen to these people whine.
Musk to the CEO of Halliburton, Citicorp, IBM, and the like, just going down the list. Susan, what is your takeaway from the president's trip here, the objective, and just the merging of the business community with Trump's official work?
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, look, this is the kind of set-piece drama. Trump is sort of the salesman in chief here, right? He's talking numbers. You know, are these numbers real? Are they not? Well, they are a distraction from the economic turmoil in the globe that Trump himself has unleashed over the...
The economic turmoil. She's sitting on the set where he just showed all these gazillionaires, and you think they're stupid and buying into turmoil? That it's a distraction? No, honey, it's not a distraction. It's not turmoil. It's far from a distraction. It's the opening act. It's the actual play. People want to tune in and see what's this guy going to do next. We're 120 days in. Oh my goodness, what's he going to keep doing? The only people distracted are idiot Democrats. They're the ones who like, oh, I can't focus on that because, oh my gosh, because, oh yeah, the Maryland man. You're a nut. You're an absolute nut.
Last 6 weeks. And so in a way, it's getting the narrative back into kind of what you would call the photo op economics rather than, you know, the real world economics of the consequences of these tariffs that Trump has unleashed. And I would point out, even with the, you know, sort of deep sigh of relief the markets took after the initial climb down because of the talks between the United States and China, we're still looking at 30% tariff on goods from China, which would have had economists and the markets in hysteria if it had not been for that. But I thought Jeff made an important...
Yeah, she's sitting there with like a scarf made from China and probably earrings made from China and a coffee cup made from China, so we know you're beholden to China. Unfortunately, the rest of America wants to prosper here. These people are crazy.
Point about the lack of actual meaningful national security deals on the table right now because of conditions in the Middle East. A lot of this is to obscure the fact that Trump is unlikely to come away with the big political and security deals that he is in search of in his second term.
Huh? Let me just give her a little hint, and maybe you may need some of this knowledge as well. But nobody invests in something that they think is going to be upended by turmoil. I don't want to buy a house deep in the hood because the idiots down there may rip out the pipes and steal the appliances and everything else. So you don't invest in turmoil or chaos. You don't certainly put $600 billion into turmoil or chaos. That's somebody who doesn't understand anything about finance. Her whole job has probably been sitting on CNN's studio chairs. Never got in the game. Because you would know, as I've said before, like the City Slickers and Curly said, and he put the gold on the table, it's like, it's got friends. I gotta cut that, clip that. It's got friends. And you just saw an entire chart of friends. And those friends aren't looking to put their money at risk. Not that kind of risk. And she thinks it's tumultuous, moron, because she's used to what I'm going to show you next. So they're having a hearing in Congress, and they're talking about the budget. And of course, the Democrats have fueled people up into thinking, oh, they're going to cut Medicaid and Medicare. And these idiots who've been dormant sleeper cells since the 60s, who take their Geritol and then go to protest meetings, decided they're going to have... This happened about 7 o'clock, right before I went on air. Breaking! Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan has been officially indicted by a grand jury for helping an illegal evade ICE. She's facing multiple felony charges. This is the one that judge who decided she was going to shield the guy and let him out the back door, and that everybody went crazy. Well, they're arresting judges now. Well, the grand jury indicted her. Yeah, about that. Oh, but it gets worse. Much worse for them. Check this out. If you haven't seen this, this is get the cigar out and a bag of chips, pop some popcorn, get a Diet Coke, and just watch what's about to happen, girls and boys. This is what it's all about right now. Oh, this is phenomenal. Breaking. A federal judge has just ruled that President Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act, and yes, that's the name of the law, Alien Enemies Act, to deport Tren de Aragua gang members is legal. Ramp up the deportation flights. Trump's proclamation and documents, quote, support the finding that TDA is committing a, quote, predatory incursion. That's another word for invasion, as that term is defined in the AEA. So, as I've been telling you, we've been talking about the suspension of habeas. There is now a district court judge who has defined what they're doing as, quote, a predatory incursion. She just defined it's an invasion. And she said Trump can round these people up. Yeah, it's about to get real now. Now you're going to see what happens. He's over in Saudi Arabia, but I'm sure he's on the phone to people over here. It's like, you see it? You hear it? Yeah. Go. Do whatever you need to do. Round them up. It's about to get crazy, folks. It's about to get crazy. This is what we're waiting for. And now he has the predicate. And Lauren will tell you at this point, he now has the predicate. If he wanted to, he could go ahead and suspend habeas. It's a slam dunk. This judge, which I'm sure they'll be fighting it, they're going to come right to court tomorrow, if not already have filed their response, trying to get it stopped and bring it up to the Supreme Court. But as of right now, it stands. Until the Supreme Court rules on it, which could be tomorrow or it could be, I don't know, November. They may say, we're not going to deal with this right now. We're going to let this happen. Let it play out. You think the Maryland man caused the problem? Now the fact that he can just go round them up. And on top of everything else, Tom Homan took control of Rikers Island in New York today. Oh, yeah.
This is meaningful because we agree that, the worst of the worst, the firearms violations, the murderers, the kidnappers, the rapists, who will come to our attention, term release, we can grab them. But I made it clear, I want everybody. If you're an illegal alien, you get booked in Rikers Island, I don't care if it's for shoplifting, I want them. So this is a start to deal with the worst of the worst in the beginning, but I made it clear that I plan on the whole of them. I want everybody. So we're going to work toward that. We agreed to some other things I'm not going to discuss on national TV because I don't want the city council to know what I'm doing. City council is fighting the mayor and everything. So let's surprise them on what we're coming to the table with and let them sue me. Bring it. Because I'm done. I'm not running a popularity contest. I came to New York to get meaningful action. We got a lot of words. The last meeting I had, today I came, I want action, I want a plan, and we're leaving with a partial plan, but I'll come back every week if I have to until we finish this plan. But it's a good first step to get back on Rikers Island. That's a game changer.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's huge. And before I take a break and get some of your comments, and then also going to read something from Patriot Addict, and then we're going to get to Elon's thing. This happens, and Trump is reaching out with the long tentacles of the law of the United States, and he's going to be squeezing people. If you did something here and you think you got away with it, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, they're coming for you. Now just imagine that. And that was SV who got that to me in the nick of time. Thank you, SV. But that just happened a little while ago. That just tells you how much is happening behind the scenes. President Trump also posted this about the big, beautiful jet, which is, I still think it's a distraction, but nonetheless, this is what President Trump just posted. President Trump, I don't know where he is in the world right now. At 7:50 p.m., he posted this. The 747 being given to the United States Air Force Department of Defense is not to him, which is something that the media has completely conflated as Trump was getting a new jet. No, it's giving it to the country, morons. And it is a gift from a nation, Qatar, that we have successfully defended for many years. It will be used by our government as a temporary Air Force One. It's not his until such time as our new planes, which are very late on delivery, arrive. Why should our military and therefore our taxpayers be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars when they can get it from free? Now, see what he's doing here. He's again twisting the screws on the Democrats. The Democrats who are so worried about money. Hey, listen, you're not going to have to spend $1 gazillion on a new Air Force One. We're getting it for free. It's not to me. They're not deeding Donald J. Trump a plane. They're giving it to the Department of Defense. All this stuff about the emolument clause, it's all just fanfare for the nuts. The Democrat nuts who think that we got him now. It's so, they are so crazy. And he goes, the country that wants to reward us for a job well done, this is big savings, instead to make America great again. Only a fool, Democrats, would not accept this gift on behalf of our country. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's right. How could you say no to free? You give everybody else free stuff. You don't have a problem with that. You just give $1 gazillion to newcomers. Well, maybe you can help them get out the country, because they're going to have to get. That's for sure. They're going to have to get out of here soon. Let me read this by Patriot Addict, and then we'll take some comments. This is a new one. I haven't seen this one before. It looks like it's for the blanket, which I have right here. They have like a roster of things that they'd like me to portray. But here's the Trump blanket right here. There it is. It's big. It's warm. I like it. Robin likes it. The dogs like it. It's very warm, and I'm a big guy. You can see it works on me. This Trump blanket, if people see it, will tick them off knowing that you are a Trump supporter. By the way, I wore my Trump hat today up to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and nobody said anything, surprisingly. Patriot Addict is back with another exclusive offer to the Fanfare family. For a limited time only, they're giving away these Trump presidential blankets, for free. Did I say free? Free like a big jet from Qatar. Free. That's the kind of free that you guys can enjoy. There's no hidden charges, no recurring fees, none of that BS. Just cover a small shipping fee, and it's yours. The blanket, as I've shown you, is gorgeous, thick, it's warm, it's very well made. It's not just going to fray on you or something. It's very well made. And more than a blanket, it's a bold symbol of America's comeback and leadership. And let's be honest, it drives liberals who see it crazy every time they see you wrapped up in it on the beach or something. If you would, I wouldn't take it to the beach because I don't want to get sand all up in it. But it would make, I guess, a good beach cover-up or something, for sure. Patriot Addict is doing this to show their support for Trump and for the Fanfare family, and in these challenging times, and to make room in their warehouse for more stuff. But this offer is only available to the Fanfare family. Not going to see it anywhere else. It's just here. And it's moving fast, so don't wait. Scan the QR code over here right now. Scan the QR code. This is free. I'm not sure what the shipping charges are, but it is 100% free. Go ahead. Scan the QR code right now, and you can get this blanket. Be back in 90 seconds, and we'll get some comments.
back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a few comments and see what people are saying about this. Oh, damn, Rick. Barry, you look tired. Wife keep you up all night. Notice how they didn't give Biden administration a plane. That's true. No, I'm not tired. I guess, look, if my eyes look red, I haven't taken my drops. I'll take the drops during the next video so I can refresh my eyes. I have dry eyes, and so these lights and staring into the camera, see, these are the type of things that can wear on you. It's sort of like spraining your knee in football. I've got tired eyes from looking at a camera. I don't wear glasses except for sometimes if I have to see something very small, so my eyes do get tired. But I'm good, man. I am good. James Brown, I'm from South Carolina. Gina, how you doing? I love walking and swimming. I'm so glad it's warming up finally. Hot down here. Hot. I mean, seriously hot down here. Let's see here. What's this? Hey, Barry, do you know what's going on with no tax on Social Security not being in the big, beautiful bill? Yeah, we know what's happening. It's the people in Congress who are sitting on their butts and doing stupid stuff. They're not working to get everything done that President Trump wants to get done. So the only thing you can do, call them up, scream at them, tell them you want this stuff in because it's getting crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's see here. MSDNC are sycophants for the deep state. The deep state that's about to be obliterated. Yeah, baby. Yeah, they're about to go. That's why you need your own studio. Yeah, I mean, even in my own studio. I mean, this is my own studio. It's in my house, but I still have to take those eye drops because you're staring into so many of these lights and everything. Nancy goes, yeah, I have weepy eye. It drives me crazy. Yeah, some people think I'm crying. I'm like, no, I'm not crying. You know what's funny? You have dry eyes and you cry. So I can't even imagine if you had wet eyes, do you not cry? It's crazy. And I'm like, why are my eyes itchy? And why does it feel like, but anyway, that's what I have to do. Oh, you look fabulous. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much. Hello, Barry from Salem, Oregon. Wow, that's the other side of the world up there. Let's see. Okay, what else we got here? I use this site to send people I know who are still affected with TDS. Must be a whole lot of people then, because they're out there. We had rain for 3 days in South Alabama. We had some rain down here as well. That's crazy. Now we also need an emergency census done and get these newcomers out. Let's see here. I have dry eyes. Hey, Mayor, how are you? How you guys doing? All right, so I am going to continue here because I got to keep on schedule. Today's one of those few days that I actually have time breaks. I mean, official time breaks that I got to go ahead and hit because, as you know, what's his name? Hannity is coming up at 9, so I have an hour to make sure I do everything I got to do because I got to hit that break because about 9:02 he's going to start with President Trump. So let me get into, in case you haven't seen this is the speech that Elon made at the same conference that Trump was at.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Thank you.
Elon, my dear friend, we're honored to have President Trump. We're honored under the sponsorship and guidance of His Royal Highness to celebrate a U.S.-Saudi and a Saudi-U.S. relationship that is 92 years old, about how we move from an oil-based economy to an innovation-based economy powered by wonderful technologies that definitely you're one of the pioneers in this industry. We just showed to His Royal Highness some of your Optimus robots and to President Trump. Let's talk about that. Tell me about them.
Yes, so we just showed several of our Tesla Optimus robots to His Highness and President Trump, and I think they were very impressed. In fact, one of our robots did the Trump dance, which I thought was pretty cool.
The YMCA, yeah?
Yeah, to YMCA. So yeah, our robots can dance, they can walk around, they can interact. I think we're headed to a radically different world. I think a good world, an interesting world. My prediction actually for humanoid robots is that ultimately there will be tens of billions I think everyone will want to have their personal robot. You can think of it like as though you had your own personal C-3PO or R2-D2, but even better. Then who wouldn't want to have their own personal C-3PO, R2-D2? That would be pretty great. I also think it unlocks an immense amount of economic potential, because when you think of like what is the output of an economy, it is productivity per capita times population or capita. Once you have humanoid robots, the actual economic output potential is tremendous. It's really unlimited. Potentially, we could have an economy 10 times the size of the current global economy, where no one wants for anything. Sometimes in AI they talk about universal basic income. I think it's actually going to be universal high income.
I got to stop it right there. An economy where no one wants for anything. You know, sometimes these guys talk and they say things, and you're like, wait, what'd you just say? An economy where no one wants for anything. Well, basically, that would indeed be no Democrat Party. Because all they rely on is the poor peoples and the black peoples and racism, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants for anything. And I'm going to ask you a question, and I already know it's going to be about a 70-30 response. Who wants a robot? I do.
Where anyone can have any goods or services that they want. A science fiction book recommendation that I have, which I think is probably the best envisioning of an AI future, is the culture books by Ian Banks. Very highly recommended for a non-dystopian view of the future. Now, there obviously are some risks, which illustrate perhaps if we don't do this right, you could have like a James Cameron sort of movie, Terminator. We don't want that one. But having sort of a Star Trek future would be great, where we're out there exploring the stars, discovering the nature of the universe, and a level of prosperity and hopefully happiness that we can't quite imagine yet. So I'm very excited about the future, and very glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
And His Royal Highness was talking to you about his vision and his dream to increase productivity for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and power up the region and the whole world with robotics, but also on robo-taxis. So how are we doing on robo-taxis?
So really you can think of a car or future cars as being robots on four wheels. And, I think it would be very exciting to have autonomous vehicles here in the kingdom.
Indeed.
If you're amenable.
You heard it here from Elon. He's bringing his robo-taxi to the kingdom.
Yeah.
All right, so let me stop it there, because I got to show you something. And it's important that you see this, because, again, it keeps showing you like where things are headed and how they're headed. All right, so this which window am I going to go to? Window A here? Okay, going to go to window A. I showed you this earlier, and this was the announcement that the Saudis were going to spend $600 billion with the United States. But as I was looking in the chat, just similar to what happens when people on Twitter or X, and they hear about it, it's like, oh, $600 billion. But if you're going to follow the money, you got to dig down. You got to dig into it. So, of course, there's like $140 billion going to military and things of that nature. But I want to show you something. Where is this? Okay. The White House, in addition, announced commitments from the Saudi digital infrastructure business, DataVolt, to pursue $20 billion investment in artificial intelligence data centers in the United States. The total investment figure also includes a combined $80 billion in commitments from DataVolt, Google, Oracle, Salesforce, AMD, and Uber to invest in both the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. And this man's out here talking about everybody gets a robot and everybody has income. And I don't think people are really listening where we're going. We don't need roads, Marty. We're getting in that nuclear DeLorean and we're about to take off. He's explaining to you the nuclear DeLorean, a self-driving car, which kind of would freak me out the first time I would get in one. But if this is where we're headed, then in order for that to work, it can't be too expensive for the masses. You know, if he's looking to further technology and make more revenue, then it doesn't behoove him to do something. Hey, let's make a self-driving car and let's make this car $700,000. No, you got to do the technology. You got to do the work to make it affordable. So you got to drop it down. Where he's going, not only will we not need roads and drivers, but everybody has an income.
He has another announcement that he's going to share.
Exactly. So, and I'd also like to thank the Kingdom for approving Starlink for maritime and aviation use. Thank you.
Maritime and aviation. There you go. There you go.
So you're going
to bring us robots to help us increase our productivity.
Yeah.
Robo-taxis to make sure that our cars and assets turn into a cash-generating unit.
Yeah.
And Starlink to reform our aviation and maritime.
Yeah.
Talk about XAI.
Absolutely. But I should mention also something that may be worth considering is tunnels.
The Boring Company.
I have this company called The Boring Company, which sounds kind of boring, but it literally bores tunnels. And actually, tunnels.
So if you haven't seen the videos on the boring, just like the word B-O-R-I-N-G, look up that on X. Maybe, hold on, give me a second. I didn't want to spend too much time off of the clock here, but I do need to show you this. The Boring Company. And this is incredible what he's doing. And his ability to go ahead and build tunnels. All right, so look at this. Big tunneling milestone. For the first time, TBC, the Boring Company, has continuously mined in a zero people in tunnel configuration. No bodies, no humans digging. There's nobody in the machine besides a videographer, which is simultaneously advancing forward and erecting a ring, i.e. building the tunnel. Each full ring weighs 24,000 pounds. In the same way that full and rapid reusability is the holy grail for rockets, ZBIT continuous mining is the holy grail for boring machines. This is the safest, fastest, and least expensive architecture to build tunnels. And here, watch this. It's boring. It's drilling. There's nobody there, and it's pulling this stuff out. And look at it. It's just going through Earth using AI and drilling a tunnel. That's absolutely phenomenal. And while it's drilling, it's laying the concrete. Here's the extended video. Here, let me see if I can show this to you. All right, here's the extended video. Let me move up so you can see this, because this is just stunning. There it is. Okay, let me start it over. All right. Look at that. That's phenomenal. And like you said, the only person in the tunnel is the person filming. I don't know how Elon Musk even came up with this idea. But you can see where things are headed. So it's now pushing, it's boring in front of it, and it's withdrawing the sand, and at the same time creating the concrete to build the tunnel. Phenomenal. So it's building the whole roof right now. Look at that. That's absolutely sick. I don't know. Maybe I'm a gadget nut, but this guy's doing everything.
In order to solve traffic, you really need to go 3D with roads, and by using tunnels, you can essentially create like a wormhole, like a warp tunnel from one part of a city to another, and alleviate traffic. And we've actually already done this proof of concept in Vegas. So there are working tunnels in Las Vegas that you can use where that'll just, it feels like teleporting from one part of Vegas to another. So I always say that, my joke is like tunnels are underappreciated, it's a bit of a, not always a hit, but, yeah, and then XAI is just trying to solve general purpose artificial intelligence. The goal with XAI is to have a maximally truth-seeking AI. And it's important to be a maximally truth-seeking AI in order to understand the universe. Mm-hmm. So the goal of XAI is understand the universe, to understand what is out there. Where's the universe going? Where did it come from? What questions? In fact, I think maybe the biggest thing is, what questions do we not know to ask? Once you know the question, the answer is usually the easy part. So the goal of XAI is to help understand the universe, and that's the goal. And help people answer any questions along the way, of course. But that's my philosophy. My philosophy is one of curiosity, just trying to understand the nature of reality.
So I know you had a long day, but we also have the Honorable President and His Royal Highness Musaidi hitting the stage soon. Yes. So this is a historic day, a partnership about how we could join hands together, as we have joined hands in the past 92 years, on building a factor-based economy to help the world and power up 20% of the energy mix, which is very critical today to the AI intelligence age, the digital age, and how we have reformed, and with the intelligent age. And we could not be more appreciative of having a lifetime partner and a friend like you, Elon, to the kingdom.
Thank you.
Joining hands on XAI, Starlink, and robotics and Tesla. Thank you so much on behalf of the whole kingdom, and we look forward to continue the partnership. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Future is extremely bright. I saw somebody put in the chat that one of those things got stuck. Okay, what's your point? Things are going to, many things will get stuck. But the thing is, you don't stay stuck. You keep moving forward. There's always going to be obstacles. It's not going to be easy. There will be robots that mess up, but you keep fine-tuning and moving forward. That's one of the things I think is probably, I hate to say the word lesson, but something that people here have to, and I mean people in our chat, have to learn. Yes, there are going to be mistakes. Count on it. But the idea is to keep moving forward through those mistakes. Yes, you may buy a stock that doesn't perform well. Well, what do? Never buy a stock again? No, you learn why, make sure you understand the fundamentals, and move forward. You may buy a house looking to sell it and doesn't sell for the price that you think it's going to sell. You don't stop trying to sell more houses. You don't stop trying to find more multifamily properties to move on with. You just got to keep going. Man, sometimes when I hear people say, oh, that didn't work. Well, so? What do you mean? The president that you voted for has had to have some of his companies, not him, some of his companies file bankruptcy. They didn't work. Everybody did something that doesn't work. But the successful people in life are the ones who say, I've learned from that failure. I'm going to put what I've learned towards my next venture, and I'm going to make it happen. Just the fact that people type in the chat that something didn't work or that broke or this means you're not understanding what's coming for you. And I'm trying my best. I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to let you guys know prosperity is on the way. It's going to be there for yours for the taking. I can't drag you to the water, but I'm giving you every opportunity that you can go, whoa, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I see it. I know how to look now and see what the futures are for tomorrow. Did you know you could do that, by the way? Oh, let me just show you how you can have your own crystal ball. Yes, you can have a crystal ball financially. Crystal ball financially is understanding what's going to happen tomorrow, tonight. So when you look at CNBC, you see these nice color blocks up here. Well, the color blocks across the top here are different things and indicators that you could learn. So the far left block is the future of the stock market. So here at 8:27 tonight, the future market, which is tomorrow at 9:30, it's in the future. Did you know you could go back to the future? You can go back to the future. There it is. It's rising in front of your eyes. It's up 22 points now for the future opening tomorrow. Oh my gosh, how are they doing that? Next to it is the S&P futures. The S&P futures are up for tomorrow. The NASDAQ futures currently are down. So you can look at these things. Oil future is down. Some of these markets, like gold, transacts 24/7. So you can see some of this stuff and say, okay, I can somewhat tell what may happen. See, I've begun paying a lot more attention to CNBC and Investors Daily and some of the other financial information outlets than I am listening to the crazy news. This popped up just now, 44 minutes ago. Asia Pacific markets mostly climb, extended rally from easing U.S.-China tensions. So that tells you over in Asia right now, the markets are going up. Well, what does that mean to me? Well, Asia's in a different time zone, so that tsunami is coming. It's coming across the water and is going to hit here tomorrow. So you can forecast. No guarantees. No guarantees. Forecast is a forecast. We've seen hurricanes. Hey, it's coming at you. It's forecast. Oh, it turned. But the forecast allows you to begin looking at something in advance and say, I think that it's going to be coming this way. If it was down 600, you're like, oh, it doesn't look good tomorrow. But right now, the indicators that people look at, and there's more than this, but there's indicators that they're looking at, is that the Dow is looking up. And it'll fluctuate back and forth as people do things, but as of 8:29, it is up. Just another tidbit for you. You got to start consuming this information and make it comfortable for yourselves to know it. It's out there. But you're focused over here on the crap. That's why I'm trying to do as little with the MSNBC and CBS stuff, because it don't matter. Nobody cares. I'm done with them. I want to talk to you guys and help some of you. So we're in a tight schedule here. I don't know if we're going to get all of Donald Trump's speech in before Hannity, so I may need to do the jump during President Trump's speech here. Let's see how far I can get into it here. So I'm going to jump into President's speech, and then as soon as 9 o'clock comes, I'll have to stop because Hannity will be coming on with President Trump. So if you haven't seen this, you're going to hear some things. I doubt I'm going to get through all of it until later on tonight, so settle in. But you won't miss him live on Hannity, and you're going to learn some stuff right here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Royal Highness, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, it's truly an honor to welcome you all to the Saudi-US Investment Forum here in the vibrant capital of Riyadh. I'm Mohammed Dakhil, a Saudi journalist and TV presenter, and it's my great pleasure to be here with you today as we experience a living expression of one of the most influential bilateral relationships in the modern world, the strategic partnership between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United States of America. And today, here in this room, it manifests in a very tangible, dynamic form with 140 distinguished global speakers, 2,500 delegates in attendance with us today, 15 pivotal panel discussions and focused dialogues across very critical sectors. And at the center of this momentum are the strategic economic partnership agreements. Signed today, we're talking about 145 investment agreements totaling more than $300 billion US. What a momentum, what a moment. Yes. Oh yes, this is really energetic. And we have with us the business leaders representing the strategic economic partnership agreements. To commemorate this moment, I'm deeply honored to welcome His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Welcome. Please join the business leaders representing the strategic economic partnership agreements for a memorable photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause and a deep appreciation for this moment and for our distinguished leaders. We witness this moment that reflects the trust and determination shared by two nations to move forward together. As you can see, the leaders at the center of this frame shaping the next phase of prosperity for both nations, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United States of America.
Did you hear what she said? Hope you didn't miss that. She said shaping prosperity for both of our nations. This is about increasing the financial wherewithal of both of our countries. Very important, very important.
And now, distinguished guests, I'm deeply and truly honored to welcome His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to deliver his speech. Welcome, Your Royal Highness. The stage is yours. What a moment. What a moment. What a moment.
My dear friend President Trump, dear guests, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at the Saudi-US Investment Forum. Our two friendly countries have deep economic relations that began 92 years ago, specifically in 1933 by signing an oil exploration concession agreement in the kingdom with Standard Oil of California. We meet today to deepen this strategic partnership in its various stages, from an economy based on natural resources to an economy built on diversifying sources of income, knowledge, and innovation. Joint investments were one of the most important pillars of our economic relationship. The Saudi economy is currently the largest economy in the region, the largest economic partner of the United States in the region, and one of the fastest growing economies in the G20. The strength of economic relations between the two countries was reflected on the growth of trade exchange, reaching $500 billion during 2013 to 24. Today, we are working on partnership opportunities with $600 billion, including agreements worth more than $300 billion that were announced in this forum. In the coming months, we will work on second phase to finalize the remaining agreements to raise them to $1 trillion. This growing partnership represents the extension of multiple cooperation in the military, security, economic, and technological fields in order to enhance mutual benefits, supporting job opportunities in the kingdom, contribute to localization of industries, grow local content, and
by the way, I didn't speed it up. MBS here is speaking, and it sounds like the translator is having a hard time keeping up because the guy's talking. So it's not me speeding up the video or anything. He's trying to keep up with MBS as MBS is on the stage. So let's continue.
Develop our GDP. The United States of America is a major destination for the PIF, accounting more than 40% of global investments. Which reflects the confidence of the U.S. economy capabilities to innovate, especially in promising sectors such as technology and AI, which contributes to transfer of knowledge and exchange of expertise. Number of U.S. companies operating in the kingdom is 1,300 companies, representing approximately a quarter of the volume of foreign investments. These include 200 companies that have their regional headquarters in the kingdom. The kingdom's Vision 2030 was able to achieve most of its targets. It is bringing about an unprecedented economic transformation that aims to diversify the economy and empower the private sector to be the main driver of growth in the largest economy in the region. Non-oil exports have increased $82 billion in 24. Additionally, over 2.4 million male and female citizens were employed. The unemployment rate fell to its lowest historical levels with the multiplication of women's contribution to the labor market. In conclusion, Mr. President, I am confident that today we will continue to build with you based on the foundations of these close partnership between our two countries. What we signed today is part of a greater ambition that invests the opportunities for cooperation and exchange of benefits. Mr. President, our joint action is not limited to economic cooperation, but extends towards bringing about security, stability, peace in the region and the world. Once again, I welcome you in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I look forward to listening to your remark, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. What a great place. What a great place, but more importantly, what great people. I want to thank His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, for that incredible introduction. He's an incredible man. Known him a long time now. There's nobody like him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, my friend. And it's a tremendous honor to return to this beautiful kingdom and be welcomed back with such extraordinary generosity and warmth. I've never forgotten the exceptional hospitality showed to us by King Solomon, who's just, we talk about a great man. That is a great man. That is a great man, a great family. Now, that visit took place exactly 8 years ago. The graciousness of the royal family and the Saudi people is really unsurpassed, no matter where you go. Let me also thank the countless ministers, government officials, business leaders, and distinguished guests for that warm welcome. Very warm, and I know so many of you. I'd like to call out all of your names, but we have a lot of problems. We'd be here for a long time. We don't want that, so don't be upset. With this historic state visit, we celebrate more than 80 years of close partnership between the United States and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Ever since President Franklin Roosevelt met with King Solomon's father, King Abdul Aziz, aboard the USS Quincy in 1945, the U.S.-Saudi relationship has been a bedrock of security and prosperity. Today we reaffirm this important bond, and we take the next steps to make our relationship closer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. It is more powerful than ever before. And by the way, it will remain that way. We don't go in and out like other people. It will remain that way. I've come this afternoon to talk about the bright future of the Middle East, but first let me begin by sharing the abundance of good news from a place called America. In less than 4 months, our new administration has achieved more than most other administrations accomplish in 4 years or even 8 years. We've actually done, for the most part, more. The day I took office, we inherited, thank you. Thank you. The day I took office, we inherited a colossal invasion on our southern border, an invasion like you'd never want to see here. Nobody should ever want to see it. But within weeks, we slashed illegal border crossings to an all-time low, down 99.999%. That's good, even for this great gentleman standing right in front of me. That's a good number. We had hundreds of thousands of people. They came in at the same time last year. And last month, we had, in this massive border, 3 people that got in. That's quite a difference. And we have no choice but to get a lot of the people that came in because they were not the best people. They were, in many cases, very bad people. We're getting them out. We're getting them out very fast. We're bringing them back to where they came from. We have no choice. After years of military recruiting shortfalls, enlistments in the U.S. Armed Forces are now the highest in 30 years because there is such an incredible spirit in the United States of America. We have tremendous spirit again. Just about a year ago, it was a big story, front page on every paper all over the world, that nobody wanted to enlist in our military, meaning we were way under enlisted. And just last week it came out that we had the strongest enlistment. They say 30 years, but probably it's maybe ever. They don't go back that far. It's the best, and that includes police officers, firemen, everything else. Is a great spirit in the United States right now. A brand new poll from Rasmussen just showed that the number of Americans who believe the nation is on the right track, they have a right track, wrong track, is now the highest in over 20 years. And it hasn't been anything like this because for many years it was the wrong track. And I can tell you for the last 4 years it was definitely the wrong track. But it's the highest it's been in many, many years. We renamed the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. That was very popular, other than perhaps with Mexico. And most importantly for the people in this room, the days of economic misery under the last administration are rapidly giving way to the greatest economy in the history of the world. We are rocking. The United States is the hottest country, with the exception of your country, I have to say, right? I'm not going to take that on. No, Mohammed, I'm not going to take that on. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing if I made that full statement? But I will not do it. You're hotter. At least as long as I'm up here, you're hotter. But groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no inflation, and in a few short weeks, we've created 464,000 brand new jobs. Think of that. It's almost 500,000 jobs created just in a matter of weeks. We just reached a historic trade agreement with the United Kingdom, and over the weekend we reached a breakthrough agreement with China. Both outstanding deals. China's agreed. We have to get it down. We have to get the little details down. And Scott, you're going to work on that very hard, but China's agreed to open up to the United States for trade and everything else. But they have to do it, so we'll see what happens. But we had a very, very good meeting with both of those countries. We are cutting 10 old regulations for every new regulation. We're getting rid of all of the red tape that is so many, frankly, countries, as they get older, they develop a lot of red tape, and we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it at record levels. And I'm pleased to report that the United States Congress is on the verge of passing the largest tax cut and regulation cut in American history. We think we're in good shape to get that. And if we get that, that will be like a rocket ship for our country. In the first quarter of the year, the investment in America was up an astounding 22%. More than $10 trillion of new investments have been announced or are coming just since the election on November 5th. So think of that. In a very short period of time, we have over $10 trillion, and it could be much higher than that. Not everybody comes to the White House to have a news conference that they're going to be opening up in America, but they're all coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. If you take a look at other presidencies, they wouldn't do $1 trillion sometime in years. We did this in essentially 2 months because you have to say we got into office and they gave me about a month to clean up and fix up the Oval Office. And after that, we started working, and the money is pouring in, the jobs are pouring in, the companies are pouring into our country like we've never seen before. There's never been anything like it. And we let other people tariff us into losing a lot of money and a lot of jobs, and now we're tariffing them, and it's at a level that nobody's seen. It's a level that is making us a very much different country and a very different Republican Party. We won a tremendous victory in November. We won all 7 swing states, the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. The Electoral College we won by 312 to 226. Remember, they said, well, we could get to 270. We got to 312. That's a big difference. And very importantly, we won counties throughout the United States, 2,660 to 451. That's why when you look at a map, they're all red. The whole country is red. Red stands for Republican. From the moment on and from the moment we started, we've seen wealth that just poured and is pouring back into America. Apple is investing $500 billion. NVIDIA is investing, and I see my friend is here, Jensen. That's very good, wherever you may be. Thank you very much, because he's putting in $500 billion. TSMC is investing. Where is Jensen, by the way? Where is he? He's standing here. Where is he? I just saw Beth. Thank you very much, Jensen. I mean, Tim Cook isn't here, but you are. What a job you've done. He said he's got 99% of the chip market. I don't know. That's not easy to beat. But what a job you've done. Thank you. We are proud to have you in our country. You know that. Thank you for the investment. TSMC is investing $200 billion, and with this trip, we're adding over $1 trillion more in terms of investment into our country and buying our products. And nobody makes military equipment like us. We have the best military equipment, the best missiles, the best rockets, the best everything. Best submarines, by the way. Most lethal weapon in the world. In addition to purchases of $142 billion of American-made military equipment by our great Saudi partners, the largest ever. This week there are multi-billion-dollar commercial deals with Amazon, Oracle, AMD, they're all here, Uber, Qualcomm, Johnson & Johnson, and many, many more. So I want to congratulate everybody, so many great business executives, many of you, most of you I know, and they're coming in, about a month ago, they weren't that happy when they saw me, and now they're saying, sir, you're doing a great job, thank you very much. It's amazing what a rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher. In fact, I told people 5 weeks ago, this is a great time to buy. I got criticized for that. Now they don't criticize me anymore. People should have listened. But it's going to go a lot higher. You see, we've never had anything like this happen. It's an explosion of investment and jobs, and great companies are coming in. Never seen anything like it. There's no better place to make a future or make a fortune, or do anything, frankly, than what we have in the United States of America under a certain President, Donald J. Trump. I have the right attitude. I have the same attitude that the people in the front row, second row, third row have. As you get back, perhaps they start to wane a little bit in terms of their view. But they understand, and we're doing what a lot of smart people would do. And we're not necessarily being politically correct. You saw what we did yesterday with health care. We've cut our health care by 50 to 90%. You're going to see drugs and pharmaceuticals come down at numbers that nobody has ever seen. And drugs, pharmaceuticals, we think will be dropping. And it will be a redistribution of costs with other nations, which really took advantage of a very nice group of people that ran our country. But not only is this a time of incredible excitement in the United States, it's also an exhilarating period right here in the Arabian Peninsula. Beautiful place, by the way. Beautiful place. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly 8 years ago this month, I stood in this very room and looked forward to a future in which the nations of this region would drive the forces of terrorism and extremism, drive them right out of existence, and take your place among the proudest, most prosperous, most successful nations anywhere in the world as leaders of a modern and rising Middle East. So exciting. So exciting. Mohammed, you sleep at night? How do you sleep? Huh? Just thinking. What a job. He tosses and turns like some of us. Tosses and turns all night. How do I make it even better all night? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. They're the ones that will never take you to the promised land, won't they? But you have done some job. True. But critics doubted that it was possible what you've done. But over the past 8 years, Saudi Arabia has proved the critics totally wrong. The transformation that has occurred even by these incredible business leaders. I mean, you had the biggest leaders in business anywhere in the world standing right before us. But the transformation that has occurred under the leadership of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed has been truly extraordinary. Such a thing has, I don't think, ever happened before. I've never seen anything at that scale happen before. And I guess, maybe you could say the United States is doing pretty well too, but I don't think too many people have seen that happen before. Majestic skyscrapers, the towers that I see, the difference between now and 8 years ago. And 8 years ago was very impressive, but the towers that I see rising, some of the exhibits that I was shown by Mohammed, what I've seen there is just an amazing it's an amazing process, amazing genius of so many people, architecture, but I have a feeling I know where many of those ideas came from. Happens to be sitting right in this room right before me, but the towers and all of the different, I've seen a lot of different towers. I didn't think there's any version of a tower that I haven't seen in one form or another. Well, I just passed 4 exhibits. I have never seen anything like any of them. So it's going to be very exciting. And they sit among the ancient wonders of a growing and exciting city. It's really amazing. Riyadh is becoming not just a seat of government, but a major business, cultural, and high-tech capital of the entire world. The World Cup is here. Johnny, just stand up, John. Johnny, thank you, Johnny. Great job, Johnny, great job. But the World Cup and the World Expo will soon be coming here, just like the World Cup is coming to the United States. It's going to be really exciting next year. The engines of Formula One racing now roar through the streets of Jeddah. in a historic milestone. Other industries recently surpassed oil. Think of it, all of your other industries now have surpassed oil. I don't know if a lot of people will understand what that means. It's so big, to make up a majority of the Saudi economy for the very first time ever. So think of that. Other industries are now bigger even than oil, which is always going to be a big monster. It's a big one, but that's a great tribute to you and economic development properly used. In other cities throughout the peninsula, places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Doha, Muscat, the transformations have been unbelievably remarkable. Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that.
Okay, so I'm going to pick this up after the jump over to Rumble. Per agreement, I'm going to be jumped to Rumble. Sean Hannity is about to come on. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump to Rumble. I'm going to play the break to give you everybody a time to get on to Rumble. What we're going to do is take the interview first and hear President Trump and Sean Hannity. That's a live show. Then after Sean Hannity is over, we're going to pick up right where we were, right there, so you won't miss a thing that he said. And we got some special things to point out in his speech. So what I need you to do is, you can see on the screen right there, get ready to jump over at Rumble. You're going to have like a minute and a half, which I'm trying to time it specifically with Hannity. So let's get going. Oops, I forgot. SV just reminded me. Thank you, SV. I got to read them fast here because I got to go through the super chats, which will make it even faster. So won't have much time here to do this. So I need you guys to get over there while I am reading the super chats, so in case you guys don't miss them. All right, hold on here. Let me bring the super chats up, and so I can get these read before we jump over there. Thank you very much, SV, and thank you for everybody who contributed. Let's go ahead and take a look here. What do we got? What do we got? Gotta hurry up because I don't want to miss it. But you know what? I can probably do this on the screen as well. So we won't have the break music. We're going to jump straight to Hannity. So I'm going to get through this stuff real quick here so that we can all see what's going on. Boom. All right, there we go. Buddy Sanders, thanks for your hard work. God bless America. God bless America. Do outside investments into U.S. economy give power over us to outsiders? No, they won't be ruling over us. Trump's the president. Darren Engel, yes, Barry, we voted for Trump and his team agenda. Rand, Cruz, and all these others have had years to get it done. They failed. I'm going to have to jump and read these on the other side because it's coming on right now, and I don't want you guys to miss any of it. So give me a second. Let's go ahead and do this.